Hello, I'm that James guy, and today we are going to have to check out a few more things on my 1-liter engine, used engine, that I bought to replace the one in my 2015 Ford Fiesta that was very, very broken. So one of the things is you can't buy parts anywhere but Ford for this thing. Just Ford. Nothing anywhere else. So I've talked to the Ford dealer. Real good guys. The parts tech actually gave me a document that I'm supposed to, check this procedure on which connecting rod bearings I'm going to put in this thing. There's 3 different thicknesses with 3 different colors. As you can see here on the screen, there's a bit of a procedure. You're supposed to plastic gauge them and figure out which ones you want. I'm just going to order the ones that are in this engine now, and then we'll plastic gauge after. I had made the suggestion that I would reuse the bearings out of the old engine. I got in big trouble for saying that. I'm sorry. I'll replace them. Also, I got in trouble for saying that I wasn't going to remove the cylinder head, that I would just, a little bit of intake valve leaking is whatever, we can let it slide. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pull the cylinder head off and go for it. Try and get these valves to seal up. Probably just lap them in, or I think in this case I might steal a valve from the old head. If it's not leaking, who cares, right? It's not as severe as a rod bearing or anything like that. But yeah, a couple checks to do, and then I'm going to go ahead and order the parts. But according to YouTube, 96% of you watching these videos are not even subscribed to my channel. So please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on this video. I will owe you one, but it'll really help me out. And with that, let's get to work. So I don't know if you can see that, but we've got a part number of 6211DA. (6211DA). So the part numbers go CM5G-6211. There's an A, B, and a C. Brown, a black, and a blue. And this is DA, so I'm assuming that means A, which means it's the brown one that's the thinnest, but that doesn't make much sense because you'd think, I don't know. They kind of make these bearings adjustable. It's only 0.02 of an inch difference on the thickness of these bearings between, the blue, the black, and the brown. And so you're supposed to kind of play it by ear and just kind of measure them and I guess have enough bearings on hand to, I don't know. Kind of seems dumb. Whatever. We'll see what's in the other one. There is a B stamped on here, I've just noticed. I'm wondering if that means anything. See, there's a B right there. I wonder if that means this is the middle one. They all have the B on there. So why don't we grab our micrometer and see how actually thick it is, because that would maybe tell us. That's 587 thousandths of an inch. Right there. Oh, maybe I should move it so you can see it. 587. If you go up to the mark over there, the 7 lines up. 587. And according to the procedure, brown is 587 to 589. Black is 589 to 590. Blue is 590 to 592. So there's an A there in the part number, but there's a B stamped on there, but it's measuring up like an A. This is the nicest shape bearing. Number 1 rod bearing, basically nothing wrong with it. And it's measuring up like an A. So I think I'm going to order the A's, and then we'll plastic gauge this when we get it back together. That's that. We'll move on to the head now. Now that I have this intake off, you can see that there is bits of metal into the intake runners on this thing. Kind of hard to see, but if I would pull a sample out of here, not really. Any shiny bits? Lots of oil in the intake. Well, I think it's from when this turbo exploded on this thing. Could perhaps be revealing why one of these 2 intake valves right here is leaking. On our leak down test, we found that out. But yeah, we'll continue to get this head off. So if you remember when I pulled the head off the first engine, the broken engine, I had trouble removing these head bolts. It is a TP50, so a Torx Plus 50, but you need a long one, which I can't find. So I got this socket here, which is a 8mm, 3/8, 6-point. That way I can drop that bit down there into the head of the bolt, and then this thing fits there nicely. Last time I had a 1/2-inch ratchet neck reduced down to a 3/8, reduced down to a 1/4. I broke one 3/8 to 1/4 adapter because it just 1/4 inch just isn't made for that. But now this should be way better. So now that the head's off, real quick, let's check the cylinders properly, not just from the bottom. That's number 1, looks real nice, no scratches. There's a bunch of crosshatch left. That's pretty good. Let's roll it over so we can check number 2. Number 2, same thing. Real nice. See some vertical lines there. But number 2 was a good cylinder when we did our leak down. I'm not too worried about those lines. Can't feel them with my finger, so just chalk it up to normal wear. Let's roll it over and look at number 3. Number 3, same kind of thing. These lines here, those vertical lines, are a bit interesting. Cannot feel them with my finger, so I'm not too worried. On to the cylinder head. Just going to pour some water into the exhaust port. There is only one port on this thing. Okay, so number 1, the rear exhaust valve, we've got a slight leak. Same with number 2, ever so slight. You can see the water starting to pool there. And nothing on 3, so that's not too bad. We didn't hear any leakage coming from the exhaust side on this thing, just the intake. So I'm suspecting one of these 2 intake valves is going to leak pretty good. So let's swap this thing around and see what the intake side does. So for the intakes, we've got individual ports. I'll start at the back on number 3 and I'll work my way to the front. Okay, a little bit of a leak there, and the forward valve is not too bad. Okay, bit of leakage. This was pretty much what I'd call normal, what I'd expect. Okay, that one's leaking a bit. All kind of normal. So now we're at number 1. Here's where the problem was. You know, kind of normal. Finally, the last one. Let's see what it does. Nothing. Absolutely nothing out of the front one. So we were hearing this one, but I think perhaps these ones are just so far back in the engine that maybe we just didn't hear them. We'll go with that. So after this somewhat inconclusive, well, it's still dripping, test, I've ordered some parts. Ordered a whole bunch of parts from Ford. You can see them here. We'll see what happens. Some of them are a little bit of a lead time on them. West Coast Ford Lincoln, absolutely amazing. They dropped the prices like crazy so that I could get these parts at a really cheap rate because I couldn't get anything in the aftermarket. So yeah, thanks to West Coast Ford Lincoln for that. that's all I'm going to do for today. Sorry this took so long to get a video out. There's been a lot going on with just traveling for work and just yard work and whatnot, but it happens. Next time we're going to take this cylinder head apart. We're going to fix it ourselves. Well, we're going to try anyway. I have some valve lapping compound and some valve lapping tools, and we're going to see if we can seal this bad boy up, and we'll go from there. Also, follow me on Instagram, __James__guy. I know. Yeah, follow me there. There's more pictures and more whatnot that I chuck in there in between videos. Like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.